Hello everybody, welcome to The Reformist. This is the show that we host live every Friday at 7 a.m. We're starting a couple minutes early today. We're so thankful that you're plugged in. I'm Albert, as you know me. And more importantly, today we have a very special guest that we're going to show. But before we do that, a couple of things I want to mention is what is The Reformist? This is a show where we learn about health, wealth, and happiness. I started this as a journey with my friend Jacob, who I'm going to bring on in a moment. And we're not millionaires, we're not debt-free, we're not extremely happy, and we're not super healthy. As you can see, we're right next to Starbucks and Arlene's. But we use this show as a journey to learn and bring on people that we can learn from so that we can go on this together. So I'm going to get myself out of the way and introduce someone that's been a very dear friend. He's also the co-founder of The Reformist. He's someone that has a great heart, very positive, someone that loves to learn, an amazing student. So I'm just going to introduce him, my friend, Jacob.
Good morning.
Let me just mount the camera.
Turn it on.
Alright, Jacob, you're on.
Albert, thank you for the introduction. Like we said, we're the Reformist Live, and we're here in Chula Vista. We have a very special guest today. She's an author of over 4 and 5 books now. She's speaking to crowds of over 1,000. More importantly, she's a mother of 3 beautiful children, and she's been married for over 17 years. Please help me give a warm welcome to Arlene Pellicane.
Hi, good to see you.
Thank you. So Arlene, please introduce yourself. Tell everybody what you do.
Yeah, well, I love helping people figure out how they can be a little happier in their homes. And the same principles I use in my Happy Husband book, Happy Wife, because you might be watching, you say, well, this is nice. I am not a husband. I am not a wife. I'm certainly not a mom yet, but someday you may be. And the same principles you used to be happy there, you can use now. And I think a lot of people think happiness is just, oh, when I get that great job, or oh, I was born so happy, or my friend was born so like, ugh, like Eeyore. But what we're talking about, what research has shown, is that 50% of your happiness is genetic, like how were you born, really happy or really ugh. But only 10% is your circumstances. Like how much money do you have in the bank? How do you know, did the date go well yesterday? That's just 10%. And then 40%, they're habits, they're things you can do to be happier. And that's encouraging because that means no matter what situation you're in, you can bring that happiness set point up.
So happiness really is a choice, basically.
It really is.
It's something you can make a decision every morning that today I'm going to wake up and be a happier person.
Yeah, physically, they'll even say if you force yourself to smile, like it's yourself in the mirror, to the first person you see in the day, you force yourself, you actually will have a physiological effect of feeling happier just by smiling at the person next to you.
Wow, that is amazing. So I attended one of your talks recently, and I know you went over the 5 happiness habits. Please go into further explanation into what those are and how we can start applying those today to live a happier life.
This one is found in 31 Days to Becoming a Happy Wife, but it is not just for women. And the first H in happy is hopeful, and it's the idea of where are you putting your hope. If you put your hope in, oh, if this person will respond to me this way, or if I get this job, then you'll be disappointed because a lot of times those things don't happen.
Yeah.
And so I'm a person of faith, and I believe if I put my hope in Jesus Christ, if I put my hope in God, then I know I will not be disappointed. So the question is, where are you putting your hope? The A is adaptable, and it's this whole idea when you order something at a restaurant and they totally mess up your order. Are you going to be like, what kind of place is this? Get on Yelp. This place is awful, Or are you going to be adaptable and just be like, hey, you know what? Just bring me another one. That's okay, And you're a much happier person if you can adapt to things in your relationships, in your health, in your life. If you can adapt quicker, you're happier. The P is positive, and you know the people that are always like, oh, we'll figure that out. But you also know the people that are like, oh, we'll never get that done. That'll never happen. Or they're constantly complaining. It's too hot. It's too cold. It's too whatever.
It's nagging.
So you have to ask yourself, am I a more positive person? Or am I a more complaining person? And then you can make changes to be more positive. The next letter is P, purposeful. And if you have a purpose for why you get up in the morning, you're a lot happier. When you are in this job that you're like, dead-end job, dead-end relationship, here we go, you have no purpose, then you're not happy. But you can take that same dead-end job and say, how can I improve in this dead-end job? and all of a sudden you have this purpose that wasn't there before. So look for purpose, look for something new in your life. And then the last letter is Y for yielded. And yielded is the idea of like if you're going onto the freeway, just get in there. But you look at what's going on and you get in there. And it's being soft towards other people, not just ramming your way in there and trying to get heard, but instead seeking first to listen and then, to be understood. So it's the whole idea of being yielded to people and also yielded to God. That if you have a relationship with God, you realize it isn't like, okay, God, let's go over here and let's go over there, but you're like, God, I'm yielded to you. What do you have to say to me? There's a story that many of us have heard from the Bible of Jonah, who was caught in the fish because he didn't want to go to a certain place God was sending him. He didn't want to go to Nineveh, so he was swallowed by a fish and spit out. And I asked my son, don't you think it'd be better if he would have obeyed in the first place and then he wouldn't have had all that happen? He said, no, because this way, if I got swallowed by a fish, I'd really know God really wanted me to do it, And that's how we are sometimes. We're not yielded. We're like, we're going to do it my way. We're just going to see how it goes. But the sooner you can yield to God and say, God, your larger will be done in my life, the happier you'll be, more content with your life.
It's about having a softer heart towards God and towards the things that He wants to happen in your life.
Right.
Wow, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest misconceptions personally that I hear people complaining about happiness is this idea that life is constantly happening to them.
Yes.
That they missed their flight on purpose, or that they had all these terrible things happen to them and life is just a cruel joke and then you die. When in reality, especially as someone is faith, you come to realize that life and everything is constantly happening in your favor.
Yeah.
And that when you can become adaptable and when you become hopeful and when you have purpose, you realize that all these little setbacks have been placed in front of you by God to shape you into the person that you are supposed to become so that He may use you as He sees fit. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. And so much of it is around you, you do have that victim mentality of well, this happened to me and I couldn't succeed because of X, Y, and Z. And the idea here is that, I have a friend, she's got 7 children, and she was crying in her laundry room like, I am a victim, how do I have so many children, and when am I ever going to lose this baby weight? And it was just this awful moment, and she realized no one is coming to my door to rescue me. So if I live with a victim mentality all my life, look what happened to me, look what happened to me, how does that help me? No one's going to come and wave a magic wand and be like, okay. So it's up to her, she realized, to say, no, I'm not going to be a victim anymore. No one's coming and ringing the doorbell and saying, you have a nanny for a full year now or the rest of your life. She's like, no one's coming. So I have to do this. And when she took responsibility, so I think that's a great first step, is take responsibility for your own happiness, not waiting for someone else to take care of you or to apologize to you, even though those things might need to happen, that an apology will come, but don't wait for that. Take responsibility for your own happiness.
It's about making a choice.
Yeah.
It's like when people sit there and they say, I want to lose weight, and they pray, please God, help me, but they stay flipping channels on the TV. When in reality, it's just get up and go and then watch what God will do in your life. But it's all about taking that first step and making the conscious choice.
Yeah, and it's environment, like you said, with the eating, you got to get all the unhealthy stuff out of your house, or else it's staring at you. And the same thing is true if there are negative influences. A lot of times our media is really negative and down on us. You're preparing yourself for this perfect life. And you got to get that stuff out of your life so that it's easier to be more.
It's about setting a positive environment. Yeah. Wow, Arlene, thank you. Those are 5 amazing habits. So we have
hopeful,
H is for hopeful, A is for adaptable.
adaptable.
First P is purposeful.
This is like a pop quiz. He's doing pretty good. The second P is purposeful.
The second P is purposeful.
The third P is
positive, and the Y is yielded towards God and the amazing
good.
things He has for your life. Thank you, Arlene. I know what I'm going to do this weekend. I'm going to focus on being happy and living a purposeful life. I start school Monday, so I got to be adaptable and see what happens when I start there. Thank you, Arlene. I really appreciate you coming on.
Good to talk to you.
Also, if you guys want to check out more information about Arlene, we have her books right here. We're going to put a link to her website. You can check that out, check out some more of her videos, and really enjoy some of her content. Thank you so much.
Thank you.